Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to iFactioners Learn to Write in Urdu video tutorial series. In today's video tutorial, we will talk about diacritics in Urdu language. We can also call them short vowels in Urdu, and in Urdu we call them Aaraabs. Now let's see what are the diacritics. Diacritics are those special symbols when they come on the character, then they change the sound of that character. For example, I think in English, fiancé, word fiancé has been imported from French, and if we look at its spelling, then we put this special diacritic on E and it changes the meaning of or the pronunciation of E. So just like this little symbol, we have many symbols in Urdu and they are known as Aaraabs in Urdu. In this video tutorial, we will see what are the most important diacritics in Urdu language and how do they change the sound of the characters and words on which they come. Let's start our video tutorial. The first diacritic or Aaraab is Zabar. Zabar. And the symbol of Zabar is like this. Zabar comes on top of the character. For example, Alif. Zabar, and if we use Zabar on any character, then it changes its sound. For example, it's Zabar, and Alif Zabar is A. Be Zabar makes a sound of Ba, and Pe Zabar makes the sound of Pa, and so on and so forth. The next diacritic which we use in Urdu language is Paish. It is known as Paish, and if I use Paish on top of Alif and it also comes on top of the character, then the sound of Alif changes to U. If we use Be, Paish, then the sound of Be changes to Bu. Similarly, sound of Pe changes to Pu, and so on and so forth. The next diacritic or Aaraab in Urdu is Zair, is known as Zair. Zair comes at the bottom of the character. It's just like Zabar, but we need to put it at the bottom, just like Alif, Zair, and then the sound of Alif changes to E. Sound of Be changes to B. Sound of Pe changes to P, and so on and so forth. So these are called Aaraabs in Urdu language and diacritics in English. We sometimes also call them short vowels in Urdu because there are no vowels in Urdu. Therefore, to make different sounds, we use these Aaraabs. So these are the most three common diacritics used in Urdu, but there are other diacritics For example, we have do Zabar in Urdu, and if it comes on top of the character, so usually it comes at top of few characters, for example alif, then it makes or it changes its sounds to an. For example, we have a word. You don't have to right now focus on this word, but let me write it down so that we can see how does it change the sound of that word. Fe, wow, re, alif. So if we see this word, then it makes a sound of fora. But if I put this do zabar on top of alif, then it becomes foreign, foreign, and foreign means quickly. Similarly, we have a word maslan. So meme se lam alif. Right now, you don't have to focus on how am I writing these words, but I'm just telling you how does the sound of the word change. So it's masla if we read it, but if I put do zabar on top of it, then it becomes maslan. So instead of masla, it becomes maslan. So these are the four diacritics which we usually use in Urdu, and then there is another diacritic which is only used on alif, and it makes the sound of alif a little bigger, and that is Madha. It's called, let me write it on, Mada, and it's just like a wave symbol. So if you make this symbol, then this is alif mad a. Alif makes the sound of a, but if you want to make the sound bigger, then we use alif mad a, alif mad am. Alif mad and meme is am is mango. Alif mada. So mad a is we only use mad a on top of alif. Then there is a character of alif, of character of the Urdu alphabet, and we use it as diacritic in Urdu, and that character is Hamza. That is the smallest character in Urdu, and it comes at top of the word or the character. For example, this is badiye, and I put Hamza on top of it, then it makes or connects the previous character and this character and make this sound bigger. For example, we have a word cha, che alif, Hamza badiye, chae. So without Hamza it would be chai, but to make the sound bigger and to connect these two alif and badiye, we use Hamza, and then it changes to chai, and then gaye. Chai is tea, and gaye, aye. So gaye means cow. So Hamza changes the sound of this. You can say these words if we use it. And then there are a few other diacritics in Urdu, for example, which have been imported from Arabic. We have jazam, we have tasheed, and some other diacritics, but usually we don't use them. Let me tell you that Tasheed, if you want to wait on the letter, then we use this Tasheed, and this is jazam, but usually we don't use them. And you can also consider noona, which is a special character in Urdu alphabet. Sometimes we count it in Urdu alphabet and others we don't, other times we don't, is noona. So noon is with a dot in it, but noona is without a dot in it, and it changes the sound of noon if we don't use this dot in it. For example, we have ha. Ha. Ha is yes in Urdu. Nahi. You don't have to write these words right now, but nahi is no. I'm just telling you that if we use the dot, then instead of nasal sound ha, it comes han. So noona changes the sound of the word, and therefore we can consider it as a diacritic. And if I use a noon instead of noona here, then it's nahin. So we don't say nahin, but instead we say nahin. Ha. And this is, let me write it down, noon gunna. Noon noona. We say it as noona. So ladies and gentlemen, this was our tutorial about using diacritics in Urdu language. We will talk about 3 diacritics, which are the first 3, Zabar, Paish and Zair, in detail in the next lesson. Diacritics are very important to pronounce correctly, and usually when you will read Urdu books or Urdu newspaper, you will note that Urdu speaking and writing people don't use these diacritics as often. Therefore, sometimes for the beginners, it's very difficult to understand the meaning of the word or the pronunciation of the word. So it comes with practice, and you have to know the context of the whole sentence to understand what word is written and how it's written. Either it's using Zabar, Paish or Zair, and how to pronounce it in the beginning. But with practice, it will come to you naturally. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. I will see you in the next lesson.